Tak, vitajte späť a máme pred sebou veľmi zaujímavú debatu, druhú v dnešnom dni, ktorá sa bude týkať toho, ako bude vyzerať svet bez peňazí. Je to aktuálne aj kvôli tomu, že vďaka pandémii používame hotovosť menej, viacej platíme kartou alebo dokonca inými nástrojmi, telefónmi, hodinkami. Je vidno, že toto je trend, ktorý je všade vo svete a ja som veľmi rád, že máme dnes šancu vyspovedať dvoch ľudí. Jedného, ktorý predstavuje silnú globálnu značku, jedného, ktorý predstavuje silnú lokálnu značku, ktorí sa podelia o vlastnej skúsenosti s tzv. Cashless systémom. Takže táto debata bude prebiehať v angličtine práve kvôli tomu, že zástupca Revolutu bude hovoriť po anglicky, ale v každom prípade si myslím, že to bude veľmi zaujímavé. So, hello,
Dobrý deň, takže som urobil úvod v slovenčine, aby každý chápal, aký je kontext, o čom budeme hovoriť a chcel by som privítať dvoch našich hostí. Prvým je Karol Sadaj, country manager spoločnosti Revolut. Zdravím do Polska, počujeme sa? Karol, počujeme sa?
Hi guys, I can hear you, but the thing is that the translator is on top of you, so I'm speaking, I'm listening to Slovakia.
Áno, počujeme sa, ale obávam sa, že tlmočník je príliš nahlas. A počujeme ma teraz v angličtine?
Like I can hear you in English, but the thing is that on top of that, I hear the translation.
Počujem vás, ale okrem toho počujem aj tlmočenie. A chcel by som teraz predstaviť Richarda Labaša, CEO spoločnosti Flowy. Richard, zdravím vás do Košíc.
Hi.
Dúfam, že zvládneme túto diskusiu z technického hľadiska, takže Karol, ak môžete začať. Vysvetlite nám, čo je vlastne Revolut, čo to znamená, čo robíte ako firma a akým spôsobom to funguje tu v regióne.
Like one disclaimer is that I still listen only to the Slovak language.
Počujem len slovenčinu.
So it's super hard for me to understand the question, but I speak Polish, so it's not that
hovoriť. Nerozumel som presne otázke, keďže počujem len slovenčinu, ale možno. Dobre, tak začneme s Richardom, kým vyriešime technické problémy. Richard, vy pracujete v Košiciach a začali ste v podstate v maloobchodnom sektore, v retaili, a potom ste sa rozhodli pracovať na bezhotovostnom systéme platieb, takže vysvetlite nám, čo robí vlastne spoločnosť Flowy.
Flowy is developing
Flowy vyvíja
retail system for the small and big retailers, so they use contactless payments, they use mobile phones, they use iPads as the cashiers, registers and so on. So we do develop software, and also I work in Labašom, which has 30 own stores and supplies under 2,500 other stores.
Ktorá poskytuje software mnohým stovkám, tisícom maloobchodníkov. Dobre, vysvetlite nám, ako tento bezhotovostný systém mení retailový systém. Aký typ zákazníkov využíva tieto platby? Sú to mladší ľudia, alebo je to ktokoľvek? Sú to ľudia, ktorí využívajú mobilné telefóny, alebo hodinky? Ako sa to mení celý tento ekosystém?
One thing to remember is that the transition to contactless payments is not a new thing. It's like every year it's increasing. Corona did some spike, and the use of mobile phones do increase the rate, but we are growing like 3% every year. 3% more people that use contactless payments compared to the year previous.
Okay, and does it, I mean, this coronavirus situation, is it really changing the whole ecosystem or not really?
It did have a spike in the beginning, like it was at 39% or something like that before Corona in our stores. it did spike to 49%, and now it's back to 42. So it did something, but not really much. It's long-term growth, which happens year over year, not just here in Corona.
Okay. And so, Karol, I don't know whether they managed to change the sound or still have difficulties. Okay, I'm sorry for that. But maybe can we try? Now I can't hear you. Sorry.
Yes, of course we can.
Okay, so maybe if you can say a few words about Revolut, so the people understand what sort of new money institution it is.
Yeah, so we started in 2015 as a finance app. At the beginning, it was mostly FX, so users who used Revolut were able to save money just by exchanging different currencies and paying the different currencies. Now we are switching to a global finance app, which is our ambition to have this kind of super finance app, which offers like basically all the features you would like to use in terms of the finance within one app. So you can invest in stock trading, you can have a junior account for your kids, you can have up to 27 accounts with the different currencies. You can save money, you can easily send money with peer-to-peer, but also international transfers, and many more.
Okay, how many countries?
So right now we are present in all the European Economic Area, so EU on top of that is and we also launch US, we launch Singapore, we launch Australia, so we are expanding globally.
Okay, who is a typical customer for Revolut? What sort of people are using it?
Typy ľudí sú vlastne vaši zákazníci? Aké typy ľudí využívajú Revolut platby alebo všetky tie služby, ktoré ste spomenuli?
The average user age is 34.
Priemerný používateľ má 34 rokov.
Having some money, because
ľudia, ktorí majú nejakú hotovosť, ktorí majú nejaké peniaze, ktoré môžu robiť transfery, prevody,
investments, being savvy in the way how you use it. And those are our average users. And obviously you need to be mobile only, and mobile first. Only way to have Revolut initially was to have a mobile app on your phone. Right now you can log the website, but still the primary is mobile app. And we're going to always be mobile first.
Okay.
Vždy to budú ľudia, ktorí budú prvom rade platiť mobilom.
What are,
Takže otázka pre obidvoch, aké sú z vášho pohľadu najväčšie výhody zmeny alebo prechodu na túto bezhotovostnú alebo bezkontaktný systém platieb alebo prevodov? Richard, kde vidíte najväčšie príležitosti a výhody?
Before I answer this question, I wanted to just add to your previous discussion a little bit. You were asking previously how the AI is affecting real world things. I just wanted to say that we use AI to handle logistics, like how much to order, to predict how much what will be sold and where should which goods go. So we use AI extensively in the real world situations. So it's not just academic thing.
Okay, and maybe one more question to the AI. So who is your supplier? Are you developing the system by yourself or somebody is helping with that?
We are using Microsoft solutions and we are applying it to the retail stores.
Okay, so Microsoft.
And to the logistics.
Okay, and now back to the question.
Okay,
biggest opportunities.
There are many things that just cannot be done with cash. Like you have self-service checkouts that cost about 20,000 if you want to handle cash, but it costs just few thousand if it doesn't have to handle the cash. So you can put self-service checkouts really everywhere.
Tieto samoobslužné pokladne môžete naozaj umiestniť takmer všade, vo všetkých
so, and other things.
Tie potrebujú naše riešenia, ale používajú aj naše riešenia. A ďalšia vec je,
in the future, we can do delivery of the groceries to the end customers really without any contact of people, like
ľudského kontaktu.
Do you know this self-service kiosk like Post Office is using or Alza is using? or others, we can put something like that in the cities and deliver the groceries in there for customers to pick up anytime they want, which wouldn't really be possible if we had to handle the cash. So there are new ways to buy from the internet which weren't possible without the cashless system.
Okay, and Karol, if you compare Revolut to the traditional bank, what are the biggest differences? Why to use this one and not the services of a traditional bank?
Like, the thing is that we are rather complementary to the banks still, because we are not operating yet as a bank, even though we do have a license, but let's put it aside. The thing which I think the whole COVID pandemic situation emphasized is that, I don't know how it's in Slovakia. In Poland, the Polish banks are very modern. So the thing which was still missing for many of them was the mobile onboarding. So still had all those use cases where you need to go to the branch and contact the physically people or talk to them. We were always mobile only. So you can sign up to Revolut like very quick just by using your phone and scanning your ID and taking your selfie, and you're ready to go. And because of the cashless society and the number of the terminals that can be used with a without even a card, just by paying with Apple or Google Pay, you can basically immediately attach your virtual card to your account, and you can be ready to use the product within 30 minutes. Yeah.
And can you a little bit explain the sort of people who don't want to go to the bank to open their account, who just want to use the mobile phone and take a picture on board? Like, difference between maybe the people in their 20s and then 30s, 40s, what is changing among the population?
The thing is that all people being locked down during COVID pandemic are the ones who are not willing to go to the branch.
Okay.
Especially as many of them, like, they literally cannot go there. Yeah, so it changed drastically because of the switch. Yeah, because in the past it was obviously, the more busy and tech savvy you are, the less willing you are to have this physical contact. And especially if you look at the branches, if they're open from, for example, 9 to 5 p.m., there is a big chance that you're working at that time. Yeah, so you need to basically take 1 hour off from your work to go to the bank. Yeah, which is not efficient anyway in our busy world. Yeah, but the thing with pandemic is that it accelerated drastically. Yeah, because if you literally cannot go to the branch, and something happened with your card, for example, is being locked because you purchased something in the digital and it was locked because of security reasons, for example, and then you need to go to the branch to have another one to reissue it, then you have a big problem, during the lockdown.
And I have one question for both of you that's more like a philosophical one, is whether when we are not using the real money, are we more cautious or are we like spending more easily because we don't see it? We are not putting the money out of the pocket. So what is your idea about it? Do we think more about money when we see them or less when we don't? Richard.
In retail, there is really no difference. Same things are purchased for the same prices. You don't buy more, you don't buy less, you don't buy these different things. Same things, regardless of card or cash. So there is no difference in our industry.
Okay, so basically it doesn't really matter whether I'm paying cash or cashless. Okay, and what about taking care of money when I'm using a bank or something like a wallet? Is there a difference? Karol?
So from my point of view, like, the assumption is that you know how much money you have in the wallet. Yeah? And assuming that you have like 1,000 euro and you're spending small purchase, you're buying small things, you do not need to particularly remember how much is left. Yeah? When you use, for example, Revolut or different finance, you can have a push after every single transaction, and you know how much money there's left on your account. So actually, you're more cautious and aware of how much money is left.
Okay, we have a couple of questions from Slido. The first one is cash really dead? So what do you think, Karol? Is this the end of cash?
The thing is that the moment when we get to cashless society, like those experiments were happening in Sweden, they were getting like really close not to use cash at all. The thing is that there is a big part of society which is actually excluded, like older people who are not willing to use or the cashless options. So there is a big discussion, like general discussion, like philosophical discussion about inclusion with technology. Yeah, like the more we go virtual, mobile only, etc., the more people are going to be actually excluded if that's the only option. And that's the thing with the cash. Also, like imagine what happens if something gets wrong with electricity, and there is no cash on the market. Yeah, it could be a little bit painful to even buy a bread.
Okay, and at the very beginning of the pandemic, there was this sort of like idea maybe it will be problem getting the cash. Was there a situation in Revolut you were dealing it like, well, nobody knows what's going to happen?
No, the thing what we saw is actually the increased top-ups to the Revolut. People were playing on money in terms of different currencies because of the changes. So we're trying to leverage the risk somehow by holding different currencies. And also, all the things that happened on US stock was prompting more users to actually invest, especially with, the negative interest rates on the deposits and the inflation on the markets, pushed people to invest and think about investment more.
Okay, and back to Richard, is cash really dead? What do you think?
Right now in our stores, it's almost 50-50, so definitely not dead, and it will be here for a long time with us because I think probably of two things. One thing, small retailers have really large fees compared to their margins, so many of the small stores doesn't accept cards at all. So people still have to have cash with them. And second thing is not just the electricity, but if the internet isn't working, you cannot pay in store with the card. So we have to solve this problem somehow. In USA, you have offline payments. In Europe, it doesn't work. So you still have to have some cash with you, even if you can pay with the card in most stores. So there are some hurdles to overcome until we can say that the cash is really dead. Right now, it's somewhere around 50-50, and it will continue to move to contactless, but it's still not there and will not be for a long time.
And
but
Richard,
it's getting better.
And Richard, question for you: in your lifetime, do you expect that in your shops people will not be able to pay cash in your lifetime?
Yes, just because handling cash does cost money, and if you want to automate, it's a big problem handling cash. So definitely there will be still some stores that accept cash, maybe accept only cash, but most of the big ones will move to cards only.
Okay, and now for both of you, the big question of security. Because somehow people think that managing money online poses some sort of security issues. So what do you think? What is more secure, to have cash in your wallet or to have money in your mobile phone? Karol.
I can take this. Obviously, the answer is it depends, yeah? The thing which we are doing in Revolut, like for example, I remember this figure from Polish market that every fifth purchase during pandemic in e-commerce was the purchase from the new joiner. So the first purchase that people made online ever in their lives. Yeah, so if you think about Revolut and our solutions, for example, we do have a feature which is called virtual disposable card, which is a card that kills its number after every single transaction. So it's like very easy, very convenient way to drastically increase the security of your online purchases just by using this card, because even if it leaks afterwards, then it's basically dead. Its number is not working anymore.
Okay. And Richard, your idea. It's more secure to have cash in your wallet?
I think it depends if you are talking about phone payments or credit card payments, because in my opinion, credit cards are not very secure because everyone can just write down your number and use it anywhere. So this is not as secure, but if you are using mobile phone to pay, there is biometrics, there is other things that make it really secure. So having contactless payment is really improvement in security if you use mobile phone, and nobody can rob you in the street because it's not just take the money out of the wallet. So it's definitely more secure.
And Richard, one more question for you from Slido. How has retail changed during COVID? Maybe the biggest changes you can see in the last 6 months. What is changing in the retail sector?
At the start of the pandemic, it was really drastic because people started buying everything in large quantities. So the supply chain was really working overtime to manage it. But as this panic died out, it's I would say business as usual. We have put a lot of precautions to really protect our people, and it shows. I haven't heard about a single case where employee of retail get COVID from some customer or something like that. So the only difference pre-COVID and now is safety measures, but people buy the same things.
Okay, and maybe similar question, Karol, to you. When you compare how the people behaved like in January or late last year to what's happening right now, are there some real changes because of the pandemic?
So obviously we are biased to the data which is in Revolut. So with various heavy users who are using their finance on the mobile and sign up to Revolut. At the beginning of pandemic, because of the lockdown, we saw a drastic drop in terms of the physical transactions, obviously, because people were not going out. But at the same time, the digital was booming. If we look right now, the average is above pre-COVID. Yeah, so everything gets back more or less to the way how it was before the COVID. Let's see how the second wave and if there's going to be any future lockdowns, etc., gonna hit the numbers. But for now, it's so far so good. We do not see much different behavior of our users than it was pre-COVID.
And maybe about the security, did online finance fraud increase during pandemics? Like people sitting at home using more sort of online shopping and this sort of things?
There were lots of articles in Poland that there are numerous cases of people trying to steal money from the others just by using their lack of knowledge and experience in purchasing online. So I do not know the exact numbers, but obviously there were some cases which were rising, especially at the beginning. Yeah, we were trying to educate the market. Like, you can use Revolut, you can use different solutions. Yeah, but be wise. Go with virtual cards. Set up different limits. If you can go with those disposable cards and purchase only with those, be wise with where you purchase and who you give your number to. Yeah.
And one more question. Do you have to educate the consumers to understand what sort of threats are there online?
Obviously, there's never ending story of educating the market and the users that they should be wise because the people who are trying to steal money or do some frauds, they're very smart and they always find a new way and the leaks that they can use. Yeah. So the one thing is to actually secure the app as much as you can. The second one is to develop your own security system based on AI, which we have in Revolut. Yeah, so basically you can quite often get a question, are you actually purchasing it right now? Yeah, not in this old school way that basically you're kind of being locked and the transaction is rejected. It's just you have a push message that you approve, yeah, it was me, and then it's fine. And then we strongly encourage to use the virtual cards, to use the disposable virtual cards to increase the security in this simple matter, just not by leaking your number.
Okay, and about the threats of the cashless system, I'm curious whether you see some sort of sectors or jobs that are threatened by this change. I'm always wondering about the waiters, you know, and the tips in the restaurants. How will that work, or whether there are other jobs that will suffer because people will stop using cash? Richard, what do you think?
I don't think this will happen. We can see it in the US where contactless payments are much more prevalent, and they are giving tips through the cards without a problem. There's just maybe temporary thing that many people think they can't leave tips in restaurants through the card, so they don't leave tips. But it's about education. I don't think that their behavior will change.
Okay. And Karol, do you see some sort of jobs that will be threatened because we will no longer use the cash?
Yeah, all the gray market.
Okay. Okay.
Guys who are not paying any taxes.
So all the shady businesses, yes?
That may be more tricky to do them if you collect the payments through the terminals. But the moment you go to London, like pre-COVID London, I guess, and you use the tube, then you realize that even people who are playing guitars or homeless, they're collecting money with those small devices with the contactless option of pay by phone.
Okay, and now about the opportunities, like there is a question on Slido, what is the next big thing in your sector? So maybe when you think about the retail and the change that's going on, where do you see the next big thing, Richard?
I think the internet delivery in grocery is going to explode. It has been with us for many years, but it was not really very good executed. So you could shop even in past, but it was not very good. But since you are still buying the same things, and we can prepare your shopping list automatically for you. You just confirm it on your phone. Every payment happens with your card, so you don't have to do anything else to have your grocery delivered to you, which is much better than having to write down every item for 20-30 minutes in your computer. So I think buying groceries on the internet is going to explode in the next few years.
And another thing, Richard, the shops without cashiers. Can you imagine that? Like people just walking in, taking the stuff, going out without stopping, and then there will be like amount going down from your account. Can you imagine that?
Yeah, since I believe most of the things you buy regularly will happen online, I think the retail will not serve as a point where you go and buy stuff, more where you go and look for new stuff to buy. Like if you want to try something, if you want to ask something, and so on. So maybe future of retail is more like a gallery or something like that, and you add some things to your shopping list, and it will get delivered to you automatically. So it doesn't matter how the money is handled in store, because I think in future we will not handle the money in store, but through the internet.
Okay, and the same question, Karol, for you, the next big thing in money managing?
I guess it's going to be global peer-to-peer transfers. Because it's still a little bit tricky to send the money to your friends in the US, for example, or in Asia. Yeah, and that's going to change. We are working on it. The moment you have Revolut, you can easily send money, for example, to Australia within 2 clicks. Yeah, and it's instant. But you know, more guys gonna follow this path, and I think also the GAFA, so Google, Amazon, Facebook, those guys gonna think about this kind of solutions. So like micropayments and global money sending, it's gonna be a big thing in the future.
Okay, guys, thank you very much. Our time is up. So thanks for joining us for this debate. And I will just sum up the whole thing in Slovak a little bit for those of us who are not listening maybe so much in English. Takže počuli sme debatu o tom, ako sa zmení systém v prípade toho, že budeme menej platiť hotovosťou. Bavili sme sa o tom, aké zmeny to bude prinášať pre spracovanie peňazí, ale aj v retaili. V zásade sme sa dozvedeli, že ľudia budú ešte viacej nakupovať cez internet a možno do obchodov budú chodiť s tým, aby si pozreli nejaké nové veci. A v prípade bankovníctva je to otázka posielania peňazí do zahraničia, napríklad do Spojených štátov. Tam je priestor na ďalšie zlepšenie. Ja chcem poďakovať Karolovi Sadajovi, country managerovi Revolutu a takisto Richardovi Labašovi, CEO Flowy, že s nami tu boli. A čaká nás ďalšia debata, ktorá bude zameraná na inteligentné mestá budúcnosti.
Volám sa Michal Pastier a som Forbes.
Volám sa Patrik Hesel a som Forbes.
Volám sa Michal Meško a som Forbes.
Som Forbes, pretože kreativita predáva viac.
Som Forbes, lebo som mal silnú víziu a išiel som si za ňou.
Aj vy môžete byť Forbes. Stačí, ak si vyberiete ročné predplatné z našej ponuky a získate magazín Forbes každý mesiac a navyše prístup do digitálneho archívu. Objednávajte na Forbes.sk. Forbes, váš návod na úspech.